Good afternoon. We got our buddy Talon Sei, as in Sei. Check him out on YouTube, Talon Sei, Talon_Sei on Instagram. Fellow TA Target sponsored shooter. And we're out here in Illinois today shooting some promo videos for S12. And they are one of our S12 sponsors. We've got some steel downrange. I keep pointing at it because I can't wait to start shooting it. A couple things we want to talk about. Drew and I have been working on a steel target video for months, and there are hundreds of companies around the globe that make steel targetry. A couple things that you want to think about: the quality of the steel, the angle of the steel, the way that the steel is mounted, whatever bracketry it's put up, and the smoothness of the strike face. There are a lot of companies that sell steel and they are selling you junk. As soon as that surface, we'll walk down range and we'll show you in a minute, as soon as that surface starts to get deformations in it from being underrated steel or from high-speed ammunition, it doesn't need to be a penetrator. A lot of times that ammo destroys targets. People say, oh, it must have been penetrator like green tip or something like that. Oftentimes it's just high speed. That's what destroys steel. Close proximity and high speed. Safety glasses are a must. I'm a big fan of side protection because while we might be shooting this way, if I'm not shooting, I may turn and be talking to him while somebody's on the range shooting, and something can come in and whack you in the eye. So food for thought, even if you're a spectator, either turn your back to the targets or face them directly if you do not have side protection while people are shooting. Let's walk down range. I want to examine the strike faces, i.e. the surface that you're shooting. You got anything to add to that, Talon?
I've been using these setups basically since the last S12 event. I have a setup of my own on my range, a couple of their ADAP targets, and I've used a bunch of other target companies in the past, and I really wasn't aware of how good the quality is on these until I put only maybe about 1,000 rounds down range on a target with this steel. AR550, not just regular old AR500 like a lot of other companies use. Super easy to set up. I did a whole video on my channel going into the specs and everything. I'm just a really big fan of them now, and I don't see myself replacing them anytime soon.
So the grade of steel, 550, there's an interesting point about that. If you are in the business, you know. If not, do some research. To add that designation, it's the hardness rating of the steel. There's variances. You can be on the low end of the spectrum and on the high end of the spectrum. So Tactical AR500 Targets, they spec the highest grade available. That costs money. The other thing, so this is not flimsy 3/8 steel. This is a 1/2-inch steel plate. Now this is a rifle rated target. They call this their A zone. Now this is longer than a standard A zone on a USPSA target. It's basically the head box on a cardboard USA target and that A zone. We can later grab a chunk of cardboard and show you what that looks like. A lot of times that people build these types of targets, they're fixed statically to a 2x4 or whatever they've got. This target, they've created this ingenious, simple hinge, and why that's important is that's allowing the target to dump its energy. So the way that a round dumps its energy when it impacts a target is, 1, the bullet deforms and splatters. 2, the angle of the target, so that's being deflected, but also because they put this ingenious hinge in there, that's absorbing energy and allowing that bullet, even at high speed and close, to not send fragments back. Speaking of distances, for pistol, we stay 10 yards or farther. And rifle, honest to God, you should stay 50 yards and farther out with rifle. The reason being, that high-speed bullet might be sending fragments back, especially if the strike face is at all deformed. So, if you show up on a range, like you go out with your buddies, before you start shooting steel, I would walk down and look. If there's big craters, I won't shoot it. I've been in a vehicle or sitting on my vehicle. My son and I were shooting one day with some friends. We were 100 yards easily from the targets. They were shooting rifles, and all of a sudden you hear zing, psh, the back window of the truck next to me exploded. We're like, all right, we're done. You know, me and him jumped in our truck and we're like, we're out of here. And if it came back fast enough to blow the window out, that would easily hurt you. And that stuff happens all the time. The biggest problem I have with people that only shoot steel, the problem I have with that training, is unless you're painting between every round, you don't know where your rounds are hitting. So you're not accountable for your hits. This holds you more accountable because it's smaller. We got a cool target here. You'll see Talon and I demo it out. This is something that they invented here at TA Targets. This is the dueling falling tree. So every time you hit it, the plate drops. And what's cool, so we'd be racing one side to the next. Watch what happens when it gets to the bottom. So there's no guess on who won. Walk down range, you pick that sucker up, and you just drop it right back in. How cool is that? Back to the quality. You've got strike faces that are made to not send rounds back at you. These bases, we'll go back to this base real quick. Skeeters. The way that they set these things up, standard 2x4 for your target. You can also, these babies double duty. You throw sticks in here, and you can use this for your standard cardboard. So you don't need to have multiple targets. There's also, you could put a cardboard target in front of the steel if you want to hear the steel impact, but use that cardboard for feedback. Pretty cool stuff. And then we've got a couple silhouettes down here. So they've got several silhouettes. We didn't bring the big boy out here. They make one called a Goliath. This is their ADAP target system. This little sucker is rated for up to 308, this little tiny target, and this thing has been shot. If you come in here, Drew, it's got fresh paint on it. You'll see that the paint surface isn't flat, but the steel itself, there is 0 deformations. We've shot this with a 30-06, we've shot this with a 308, we've shot this with thousands of 223, 556 rounds and many more pistol rounds. This target was on the range at the last S12 with all those people blasting at it. And if you look at that strike face, there's 0 deformation. So heat and speed are what kills steel. If you look at a piece of steel that's been shot a lot, there'll often be curving to it because as the round hits, heat is transferred into the target and it eventually will start a curve. So while this stuff will last for years and years, if you've got a commercial range or you're shooting a ton, you will eventually have to replace it just from the fact that this heat kills the hardness. This is their larger one. Is this the one that they call the 2/3?
No, that's the 2/3.
That's the 2/3, okay. So this one is even thicker. This is 1/2 inch. That one there was the 3/8. Again, this sucker will handle high caliber rifle rounds. We've plastered these with anything that you can think of as far as common rifle calibers. This one I believe we shot at with some 30-06 AP rounds, and you're gonna see no deformation. Again, that's what you're looking at. If you get a side view of that, Drew, you can see how heavy duty that is. That's not some flimsy piece of garbage. They've got a bushing. This is what I wanted you guys to see. They've got a bushing between the bracket and the plate. So they got that bushing, and then we already showed you that hinge point. So all of that is set up to disperse energy. It's not steel on steel. There's the strike plate, the bracket is separated by a bushing, the bolts. So if you do cut those, you can go to the hardware store and get another bolt for 50 cents, and then that hinge. It's pretty sweet. They're the only company I know that does automotive grade paint on all their stuff. So they've got a full spray booth. You might say, I don't give a crap, I'm just gonna get shot up. I appreciate that the bases are coated in good paint and they're not getting or coming to me all rusty. There's a lot of steel companies that send you unfinished steel all crusty and rusty, which, I don't like that, especially because then I've got to clean it up if I want to get a coat of paint on it.
These are the targets that I primarily use on my range, both the 2/3 and this one. And just last weekend I did a video with a long range precision rifle, 308 at about 100 yards, maybe a little bit less than that, and didn't even put a dent in any of them.
Yeah.
Like, not even a dimple. You go up there, I haven't painted mine yet, but super high quality.
And the interesting thing is people will argue and say I could buy cheaper quality stuff. Yes, you could, and it may work for a little while. It's not gonna last the same. It's kind of like tires. They'll last, or they might work good right out of the gate, but they're not gonna last like these things will. So you guys notice the theme with me, it's all about quality. I don't wanna buy junk. You buy a couple of these for your home range or for your, if you travel out into like BLM land or work out in the woods, they're gonna serve you well, and one of the main things is they're not going to send fragments back at you to injure you. How about we quit talking and shoot these things?
Let's do it.
All right, hot dog. So you've got one of the CarryTrainer 19Xs with some sweet AmeriGlow sights on there.
Yep.
Running a made-to-carry holster today. I want people to be able to see and hear how these things are working. So just put a few rounds onto those targets.
See if I can hit them.
Of course you can. So, A-zone. How about that? Good. Since we're out here training too, I know you're working to do a nice, accurate hit, this shouldn't change coming out of the holster.
Okay.
So like if I said, give me one accurate hit,
Draw
most
like
people have a tendency to go this, you know, like, all right, here we go. Whereas, you still could come out and do whatever you got to do.
Okay.
Man, this Jägerman, this Jägerman mag goes all day. Pink. Try it again, man. I like it. Yeah, that little guy holds you accountable.
Yeah.
From the Neo Mag. Long shot, close shot, middle shot. Go 1, 2, 3. Should we get the timer out? Well, for real.
Yeah, we could.
We'll get a little timer out. Try it again. See, there you go.
That's better.
What'd you do different?
Just took my time a little bit more. Focused on the front sight post.
That's the magical thing, man. If you don't see the sight, you're never gonna hit it.
I've learned that the best way to do it is to speed up what you can, like my draw. I'm comfortable with my draw, and then slow down once I'm out on target to make sure I'm pressing off the rounds at the right spot.
Makes good sense to me. Make sure I got enough ammo in there. You tell me when.
Shooter ready.
Yep.
Stand by. Should I just press that?
Well, it did go. 276.
Yeah, it went as soon as I pressed that.
Yeah, it was set to automatic.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
All right, 276. There you go.
All right.
So first shot was a little slow. 149. We've got that steel down there at about 20 yards. 149. Could have got a little quicker. Ready?
Yep.
Come on. There you go. You were all over it. Try it again. So we're going long, close, middle.
All right.
One on each. Here we go. With a reload. There we go. All right, let's do it again. What are you doing?
I don't know.
Put it out. Get the slack out. Straight, straight. Do it again. Get the slack out. Straight, straight, straight.
I think I'm having a hard time seeing the target because it's so dark. Shouldn't be though.
There you go. Let's do it again. You got ammo?
Yep.
Go close, far, center.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Let's try it again.
Struggling with that middle target, yeah.
That thing's hosing you. Close, far, center. TA targets, made to carry holster, AmeriGlow sights on the Glock 19X, jammed full of Super Bell ammunition while wearing Vertex pants. And here we go. Ah! Yeah, I'm looking at that in the darkness there. You really have to be firm on the gun. It's that you can't see that well down in there in the weeds. So we got 3 pieces of steel out there. You got the A-zone, which, just so the viewers understand, is technically the head box and A-zone of a USPSA target. Then we've got the 2/3 ADAP and the ADAP, all AR550 steel. So why don't you go far, close, middle.
All right.
Ready?
Yep.
Here we go. Ah, yeah.
The middle one kills me every time, man.
Let's do it again. This time you're gonna wang dang it. Ready?
Yep.
Here we go.
Oh my God.
Too much bourbon last night?
I don't know. How am I not hitting that?
Let's see what's going on here. There you go. I think maybe you're just so excited to be with Drew and I out on the range here. Let's do it again. Here we go. There you go.
Did I hit that?
So when you're gripping,
Yeah.
throw this out there really quick. Get this hand out here. You want to be like that.
That hard?
Yeah, I mean, I'm mashing on it.
Okay.
Because then you've got the movement that you're concerned with is the sight just tracking up and down out of the rear notch instead of any other extraneous movement that your finger may impart.
Okay.
Try that once, just a little more grip pressure. That's something that's great to dry fire. Let me feel. Yeah, man. Ready, Freddy?
Yep.
Hey, my name's Talon. Yeah, I know. Here we go. Yeah! One mic. That little guy.
Was that 2 on the A-zone?
No, you missed the first one.
Okay.
That little guy doesn't lie. Let's try it again.
Yep.
Go 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Here we go. Shooting just to the left. There you go. Yeah!
I think I'm floating my front sight post around in the rear,
Okay.
so I'm not actually
You're not
centering
lined
it
up.
Yeah.
Let me try. This Yeoman mag is working really good, and nobody's ever gonna steal that one from me.
I might.
All right, this is gonna end up with a reload here. I've only got a few rounds on board, so I'm gonna do a reload from the Neo mag.
You ready?
Yes, sir. I felt my shirt get hooked and it screwed me all up.
Let's go again.
Ready?
You ready?
Too fast.
Ready?
Yes, sir. Did I hit that little guy the first time?
I don't think so.
It's hard to hear him with the ear pro on and that tractor going.
Let's go again.
Give me one more.
I think you're out.
Welcome to another episode of the CarryTrainer Higher Line podcast. Welcome to another edition of the CarryTrainer Higher Line podcast. Have a fantastic Iron Man of sorts here, Mike Gillette. Am I saying your name right, or do you say?
That's how I say it.
Chile? No,